Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and today's video is gonna be a lot. And I mean a lot, like really a lot. There's no excuse for that. Before I start getting into it, I just want to thank rjgman65, who has been subbing a lot of like J-dramas recently, whether it's new or it's an old one that hasn't been subbed yet. So he has been making an effort into just, I don't know, because a lot of subbers nowadays are much more focused on like K-drama, so he's trying his best to like make progress more into subbing J-dramas, and at the same time, like, there's a difficult relationship between subbers and streaming sites, considering that some streaming sites do have the tendency to like steal and not credit like subbers and stuff like that. So it's been a crazy ride. That's why a lot of J-drama subbers also just lost interest in doing it, but he himself has been making it a point to make sure that his sub versions are getting into more accessible means like streaming sites and stuff, and he also posts it on his website and his Facebook page. I'm putting a link to his platforms down in the description below so that you can like follow him, check him out. He's gonna be subbing Honey, which stars Hirano Show, and basically like a lot of things in his queue as well, and he takes in requests, so you go ahead there and request some stuff to him if you want to. Yeah, go check him out. Particular drama, he is actually the one who subbed this, so I was initially looking forward to it without really knowing what I was getting into. I just wanted to watch it because it stars Yoshizawa Ryo, and I have seen his past works like Tomodachi Game. I just finished watching Survival Wedding. I'm still contemplating whether or not I would make a video on that, but and he was also in Bleach, so a lot of his projects are really like interesting and fascinating to me. He's not just particularly stuck into the whole like high school shoujo sort of genre. He really went into a lot of different projects, even though he's particularly young, and it's sort of untypical also for like good-looking ikemen-looking actors to just be doing dynamic roles as compared to what is expected of them, which is just a lot of like romantic dramas and stuff like that. Because of his quote-unquote portfolio as an actor, it really got me excited into watching Marmalade Boy, which was a mistake, and I probably should have like researched it first, like what it's about, because of the reasons that I will be digging deep into further into the video. But first things first, before I start ranting about it, I just want to say that I noticed that the girl here, Sakurai Hinako, is the leading lady of Hirano Show in his upcoming movie, or not particularly sure if it already aired in Japan, which is We Love or something like that. So she was also a bit familiar to me, even if this is like the first movie of her that I'm gonna be seeing. But what I noticed in Japan specifically is that a lot of girls are also getting like a rotational exposure, like mixing it up in like different popular actors and stuff, unlike before where the main focus are just, you know, the guys. So it's kind of cool like how the whole J-drama, J-movie thing is now with more actresses. It's just that it's kind of funny because they sort of like rotate between who's gonna be with who in what particular drama. Anyways, diving deep into Marmalade Boy, the first 10 minutes of it is already sort of convoluted. It was established that the main girl's parents, Miki, and the main guy's parents, Yu, sort of like exchanged partners. So like his dad to her mom, blah blah blah. So they exchanged partners and stuff, and it was a really like confusing thing. So they wanted to introduce this idea to their children, which are the protagonists of this movie. And the dynamic just goes, you know, it's not that we fell out of love, that's why we're doing this, that's why we're getting a divorce. It's just that things happened. We went to Hawaii, we clicked with these two other people and decided, hey, let's exchange partners or something like that. That's like how the dynamic went. Now, Miki was probably the most reasonable person in that first couple of scenes into the movie because she was just confused about the entire thing. Just like myself. She was saying that obviously she didn't want her parents to split up, and that she couldn't absolutely like choose between her parents, and it was just an entire chaotic thing. Like, they left for a vacation, they came back, they wanted to exchange partners with another couple. It's a lot, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. But here comes in the son of the other couple to be introduced, and he was like, okay, whatever they want to do, it's fine. And she was immediately just so frustrated at the situation, like, shouldn't you be agreeing with me? This is a lot to take in. This is not normal. We should not be okay with this, blah blah blah. So at first I was thinking, okay, at least the main girl is reasonable. She's looking at things in a more like realistic sort of way. I agree with her. This is so confusing, but it gets even weirder. Make things easier, they're gonna rent a home where they could live together, like the 6 of them. At this point, all I'm thinking is, okay, so I dived into this thinking that is a typical, love story between 2 teenagers, and is this like another crazy way on how they're sort of like compromising how these 2 characters are going to share a home for them to fall in love with, without the whole disaster of like what happened with a lot of other J-dramas where either they're neighbors, some sort of reason for them to live together, they're renting the same house, blah blah blah. So this one, let's just make everything in their family complicated so that they have a reason to live together as quote-unquote siblings, which again is confusing in itself. That's not my only complaint about the entire thing, because obviously we all know how this is gonna go. They eventually like fall in love, but there's this complicated added factor that apparently the parents know each other not just from the trip in Hawaii, but way back when they were younger, and there's a possibility that the 2 protagonists who are now currently in love with each other are actually blood relatives, blood siblings even. And we were all like given this idea that the entire romance thing might actually be incestuous. Overall, it got resolved in the end, thankfully. It's just that the main point of like why these people aren't talking to each other about the situations, about their feelings, about just to clarify basically every misunderstanding ever, is because again, they don't want to have misunderstandings, which is completely ironic considering how chaotic everything became. I've never had a movie that is set as like a teenage romance movie to have me cringe a lot while watching it and just wanting it to end. I mean, I've seen Attack on Titan, the live action movie, where they completely slashed out the character of Levi and replaced it with like a pimp or something, with a misogynistic take on Mikasa rather than the cool person that she is from the anime. And that one I didn't finish because of how horrible it was, but it was a fantasy movie. Probably they just don't know how to approach it. But this one is supposedly a slice of life teen romance sort of thing. The formula should have been easy. I get the idea that they wanted probably to make it different. So maybe I just missed something, because apparently it was adapted from like a manga or a book or something like that. So maybe if I read that, I would probably like get more details about this, but I highly doubt it, because of how, if this is the entire plot in a nutshell, then it's convoluted as heck. Like, I don't think there's any going around it. The other thing also is I feel like even the supporting characters are just swept into this whole, like, it's trying to resolve so many things. It makes me so angry just thinking about it. So do I recommend this one? Definitely not. Like, if you're into cheesy things and stuff, there are a lot of other movies. Maybe you can like switch to Yamazaki Kento or look at his portfolio for things like that. But for this one, like, definitely, I'm telling you, you might want to skip out on this one. So yeah. So that's just my opinion of it. If you like it, or if you have seen it also, or if you're planning to see it, tell me down in the comments below what you think. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. I promise you that I don't always rant in videos like this. I usually talk about K-dramas that I like, so this is probably a first time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be seeing you soon in a new one. Bye!